Welcome to another top pick based on originality, condition, and price. Our feature car today is a 1968 Plymouth Fury III sedan. You're going to really like this car, folks. My name is Rob Lofaris. You're watching Rob's Top Picks. Let's go check this car out. I found this car yesterday on Craigslist in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's a 1968 Plymouth Fury 3. It's got 132,000 miles. Really pretty. It's got the 383 V8 engine, and he's asking $12,500. And I think by the time we get through this video, you'll agree with me that this car is worth that much money. Just how beautiful the car is. A little background on the Plymouth Fury. It ran from 1956 to 78. It covered 7 generations, and the car was so familiar to me growing up that I didn't give it any notice. None of us did. However, seeing one today, especially in a sedan, just basically changed my point of view on the car quickly. This feature car is the last model year of the 4th generation that ran from 1965 to 68, and it was offered in the Fury 1, the Fury 2, and the Fury 3. The Fury 3 was the more high line side, had more options, more available trim levels, and more engine options as well. And the Fury 1 was the economy car. That would be the taxi cab type thing, or a car my dad would have bought back in 1965. Of course, yeah, economy focused, right? Of course. The 68 was basically a carryover from 1967, and it had these beautiful stacked headlamps that were really beautiful and very aggressive. And they were deeper into the front fascia for this model year. I thought that was very pretty. And it sported its own rear end as well, its own styling for 1968. So this is a 1 year only car styling. So when you buy a car like this, it's only replicated in one model year, which is kind of cool. Today, you don't see that. Today, cars last for 5, 7 years without being restyled. And here, almost every year, the car was being restyled where you can immediately identify what was a 68, what was a 67, and things like that. So it has its own uniqueness to it. I think it's pretty. The engine offerings on these cars were you can get the 225 slant 6, which was the workhorse of the Chrysler line, the 318, the 383, which this car has, and then the 440, which was the beast of the engine, and that was 375 horsepower. The Fury 3 of what this car is being shown is the top of the line. It appears to be a very honest looking car and a very original car as well. And recalling that it's 56 years old now, I think the car is reasonably priced as well. Something I would definitely hunt down. And I really like this car. Let's dive into the actual ad itself and see if we can talk about it a little further. This car here, basically, there's not much description on the car other than all the gauges work, the air conditioning works, which is pretty cool. Newer upholstery in the front seat. The headliner, I think, was replaced. The carpet and dash, I don't know if it was replaced or if it's just beautiful, but it is in great condition. It's garage 90% of its life. It's got studded snow tires in the rear. Probably not something I would boast and brag about, but back then, before front wheel drive was around, everybody put studs on their cars, and magically you were able to go everywhere a four-wheel drive car was able to go, and you didn't have to spend all that extra money. So rear wheel drive cars in the 60s and such, yeah, if you put snow tires in the back with studs, yeah, and if you can't get where you need to go, then you probably should stay home. So this car has original snow tires back there with studs. I don't know. I don't think they're original, but you know what I mean. White wall snow tires as well. Jeez, they might be old. Anyway, let's dive into the photos and see if we can tear it apart a little bit. There's not much to tear apart, but here's the center post. This is a four-door sedan. It has a center post. The hardtop does not have the center post. The two windows line up, and a little different view. I tend to like the post sedans. They're a little stronger, and I think a little bit more rigid of a body, but either here or there. But this had one more step up. You could have gone with a hard-topped sedan, and this car would have cost more money. Oh, there's those little indicator lights in 1968. These were added, both the front and the rear. So all cars that were built back then in 68 had to have that. There's the recessed front grille. You can see the stacked headlamps look very, very nice. The car's got the indicator lights, the directional signals on the front fender, which I really love. I think that's so nice. Beautiful greenhouse design, a nice solid rear, sail of the rear, hood roof, and gives you a very luxury appearance. This car was not a luxury car considering that there was an Imperial line, but this car, especially the Fury 3, was more luxury appointed anyway. It has the original hubcaps, which are really nice and cool. The glass looks really nice. I don't see any rust or anything, and I'm thinking the car was repainted, had to be. But if this is the original paint, I think he would have called it out. But the paintwork looks to be very respectable for its age. Um, Really nice look of the hood. It's a big car. Like I said, it's a full size car. You can see the inner wheel well here. It's the original wheel well. And if this car was repainted, I would have thought that somebody would have done the wheel well as well. Um, so I don't know about the paint work on this car, if it's original or if it's repainted. So it's a good question. One of the first questions to ask, right? It's got the side trim moldings, which is all, again, nicely done. Uh, the interior is, again, all original. I'm going to use that word a lot. If you notice that steering wheel, if that reminds you of NASCAR cars back in the 60s, there's no incident because they used to use stock steering wheels back in those days. Can you imagine? Here's your air conditioning. I think he put in an aftermarket radio here so you can listen to different tunes. Um, Nice, easy to read dashboard. These were all built at the same assembly plant, one assembly plant in Belvidere, Illinois. And that plant Chrysler owned from 1965. And it's idle still. And it was subject to a lot of controversy during the strike because the strikers of the unions wanted to open up that plant again. So Chrysler made a commitment to open up that assembly plant in Belvidere to build more Chryslers in 2025. I happen to know that, so it's a fun fact, right? Nice interior, nice seats. I love it's a bench seat. You can put a center armrest here, so you can fit 6 people in this car on a nice road trip. Can you imagine that? And the rear seats very generous. There's your Fury 3 nomenclature here on the side door. Yeah, the chrome work here looks a little pitted on the door panel, but again, 56-year-old car, right? But all this door panel work looks to be original. It's got the remote mirror. That was a cool thing back in 1968, to have that. And he had the roll out in a wing window instead of pushing it out manually. You can roll it out, and that was a lot of fun. The door jambs look beautiful, look very original. So again, this is definitely original paint. The headliner, I think he said he's replaced, so you can see how nice that is. It's a vinyl headlining too, so that looks nice. The three-pointed seat belts, the actual shoulder harness was on the roof in a stored position, and you would unclick that and put that on your shoulder. So you had to do that manually back then in those days. But that might have been an option too, to have a shoulder harness as an option. There's your center post here in the sedan. Um, and everything looks nice. Indicator lights look nice. The windows look very original. Look like there's a factory tint to them. Again, with air conditioning, they may have tinted the windows back then from the OEM. Look at that beautiful rear deck. Again, that's a 1-year design, only for 1968, so you won't see yourself coming and going anytime soon. It's distinctively just for the 68 model year. But very beautiful lines. I don't see any rust. The car looks to be very original. That rear bumper looks fantastic, again, for its age. Look at that shot. It's got a Volkswagen Beetle in the background, a 67 or a 66. That's kind of cool. It's got a nice garage. So the person's into cars, obviously. Engine bay looks very original. This is the weakest point of the car, but it also could be the strongest point of the car. And I'll explain, because strong points are the car's very original. The weak point is you'd like to see it a little bit more detailed and restored. So again, I'm thinking that it's possible this car was not repainted because you don't see any overspray anywhere. And again, if you were going to repaint the car, you probably would have done some detail work on the inside. But these are the questions to ask. But the engine's all there, it's all original. And he says the air conditioning works, which is really cool. You carry some belts in the trunk and you can go anywhere and get stuck, just change the belt. Power steering looks like he's done some work to it. But again, power steering, air conditioning. The brake master cylinder looks to be very original, which is a little scary. So that might be something that you'll want to adapt and change. Front end and bushings and all that, and tie rods and all that might have to be changed as well. Something to expect when you buy a car of this age, right? Trunk looks really nice. The splatter paint looks original. He's got a mat here. We don't really see what's underneath that mat. That looks like an original bias tire, snow tire back there for show. And again, I guess because it's Colorado, right? People go skiing and all. So, but that's a new snow tire with studs, white wall. Um, so there you go. So overall, I really like this car. I mean, I think this car is a good looking car for what it is. That basically wraps up this. As far as the price goes on this car, is it worth $12,500? If you think it's worth $9,000, I wouldn't make a couple $1,000 get in the way of having something really nice and fun, something that you can share, enjoy with, go to car shows with, and have some. You'll get a lot of eyes on this car because just the car has such a good look and it's such a nice shape. And the guy looks like he's an enthusiast. He's got his motorhome. He's got some toys in the garage. He had that Volkswagen Beetle back there. So it's nice to meet people that are car folks like us. And sometimes the conversation and just the relationship and meeting somebody is kind of valuable too. And that all takes away from feeling good about buying a car, right? So, anyway, but that basically wraps up our top pick today. To get more information, please visit our YouTube channel. You can click that Facebook link right here on the front page. That will take you to our Facebook page. We have over 11,000 members there. You can join us there and talk about cars. Please subscribe to this channel as well. We're trying to grow it and get more clients so we can do a live Q&A in the month of April. Thank you all for your support of this channel. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful 1968 Plymouth Fury. I know I did. I think it's a fun car, and for $12,500, I don't think you can go wrong, right? Thanks very much. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you again on another Rob's Top Pick.